Assalamualaikum. So today we are going to start question three of paper two, and question three of paper two is mainly based upon the caliphs of Islam, and we have four of them in our Islamic history: Hazrat Abu Bakr, then Hazrat Umar, then Hazrat Usman, then Hazrat Ali. So we'll do the details of all the caliphs and how were their administrative measures, what battles did they fight, and so we are going to cover a lot of detail for just one question, and it's essential for you to remember the details of all the caliphs. So you cannot miss if you have studied Hazrat Abu Bakr, then you're not going to study other three. You have to study all four of them because a question can come on any of them and on any of their measures that they took. Because a little bit background of Hazrat Abu Bakr is he was born in a noble and respectable Quraysh family of Makkah. He and Nabi Kareem were they were best friends, and Hazrat Abu Bakr was the first person he was the first man to accept Islam. Then he migrated to Medina with Nabi Kareem and was present in all the significant events such as Battle of Badr, Uhud, Trench, Hunain, Treaty of Hudaybiyah, and he was also one of the appointed imams when Nabi Kareem fell ill, and he's one of the 10 blessed companions. Then the a little bit background of Hazrat Abu Bakr is that he was also the father-in-law of Nabi Kareem. So right after the passing of Nabi Kareem, there was this question that who should now be the Imam of Muslim community, and there was this confusion between Ansars and Muhajirin, and Ansars wanted an Imam from their tribe, Muhajirin wanted an Imam from their tribe, and this led to a great confusion. So once the final rites of Nabi Kareem were processed and they were in progress, it was brought to the attention of Hazrat Umar that the Ansars were holding a meeting in the Saqifa Banu Sayda to elect a successor to Nabi Kareem. Umar, Abu Bakr, and Abu Ubaidah ibn al-Jarrah hurried to the meeting where the Ansars had almost elected Saad ibn Ubaidah from Hazrat's tribe as the leader. Abu Bakr made a persuasive speech as to why the Quraysh should lead the Muslims. On hearing this argument, an Ansar, Hubab ibn Mundhir, suggested that there should be two rulers, one from Quraysh and one from Ansars. And it was at this point that Abu Bakr said to Ansars that you were the first to uphold Islam, do not be the first to sow seeds of dissension in it. The Ansars quickly withdrew their claim. Abu Bakr put forward the name of Abu Ubaidah as Caliph, but Umar stepped forward and nominated Abu Bakr as Caliph. So it's a clear point that if there would have been two rulers, then there would be the odds and there would be confusions among the Muslim community. And since Nabi Kareem was from Quraysh, and since the people of Quraysh were the ones who saw the nitty-gritties of Islam from day one, they led a very harsh life in Makkah Mukarramah for around 13 years, and they were well aware on how to deal with the challenges and with the situations that were completely against them. This is exactly why Hazrat Abu Bakr made the speech that why a ruler or why an imam should be from Quraysh tribe. Then this was his election. He went on to pledge his loyalty to him, followed by Zaid bin Sabit, and the rest followed. He was the natural choice after Ali. He was the first to accept Islam and was with Prophet peace be upon him at the time of migration. He led the prayers during Prophet's illness. He was chief of a Hajj caravan. His qualifications and eligibility were undisputed by all. Abdullah bin Masud reported Prophet as saying, if I were to take anyone as my best friend, I would take Abu Bakr, but he is my brother and successor. So, not just Hazrat Umar elected Hazrat Abu Bakr as a caliph, he was well eligible to become the first Khalifa of Islam as he was with the Prophet since day one. They were best friends, and Nabi Karim himself said that Abu Bakr would be his successor. After the election was over, Abu Bakr rose and said, I have been elected your Amir. Although I am not better than you, help me if I am right. Set me right if I am wrong. Obey me as long as I obey Allah and His Prophet. When I disobey Him and His Prophet, then obey me not. So this is a very important saying of Hazrat Abu Bakr right after becoming the Caliph. And you need to remember this because this was an important saying. Soon after election, Hazrat Abu Bakr was confronted by challenges such as refusal to pay zakat, apostasy movement, false prophet campaign, battles, compilation of Quran. So these were the challenges with which Hazrat Abu Bakr dealt with, and number one was expedition to Syria. Continuing with the policy of Prophet peace be upon him, Hazrat Abu Bakr dispatched a Muslim force to Syria under the command of Usama ibn Zayd ibn Haritha, the son of the Muslim commander Zayd ibn Haritha, who was martyred in the Battle of Muta. Abu Bakr was advised to delay the dispatch of the army or at least send it under the command of an experienced leader because Medina Tayyibah was surrounded by hostile tribes. And it was advised to not send the army outside the country. But Abu Bakr rejected these suggestions, saying, who was he to revoke a decision that Prophet peace be upon him had taken in his lifetime? The army led by Usama left 3 weeks after Prophet's demise and was successful. During the farewell of the army, he asked the army to not kill children, women, or old men. He also asked not to cut trees and molest monks of church. Muslim army attacked the borders and Byzantines were defeated, so they offered allegiance to the authorities of Medina. This was a great success as hostile tribes came to know that Muslims were strong enough to meet emergencies. So this was the first challenge that Hazrat Abu Bakr dealt with, and he was advised that Muslim army should not be sent out because there were hostile tribes around Medina Tayyibah. But he said that he is nobody to not follow the commandments of Nabi Kareem because it was already decided by Nabi Kareem to send an expedition to Syria. Refusal to pay zakat was the other challenge which he dealt with. Many tribes like Banu Asad, Ghatafan, Abbas, Murrah, and others surrounded Medina. These were those hostile tribes. And after the conquest of Makkah, when other tribes in Arabia accepted Islam, these tribes also offered allegiance to Islam, but this allegiance was based on diplomacy rather than on faith and conviction of heart. They regarded Islam as a matter of personal allegiance to Holy Prophet, which ended with his death. So these tribes wanted reduction, or they did not want to offer, or they did not want to pay zakat. They thought that paying zakat is something which is giving them loyalty or which is giving them allegiance with Nabi Kareem. Rather, this is a part of faith. This is one of the pillars of Islam. So these tribes sent a deputation to Hazrat Abu Bakr with the proposal that with the passing away of Holy Prophet, their agreement with Islam had ended, Nauzubillah. And it was necessary that the authorities of Medina should make a fresh agreement with them. They said that they would remain on friendly terms with authorities in Medina if they were relieved of the obligation to pay zakat. And Hazrat Abu Bakr was extremely strict on this point. He said that zakat is the fundamental pillar of Islam and that had to be paid. And he said, so this is a very important reference which you need to remember for refusal to pay zakat. If with reference to zakat you withhold even as much as a string to tie a camel, as the Khalifa of Holy Prophet, it will be my duty to fight for it, whatever the consequences. When Hazrat Abu Bakr rejected the demand of the tribes to exempt them from payment of zakat, they decided to forego Islam rather than yield to authority in Medina Tayyibah. They decided to launch an attack on Medina. When Hazrat Abu Bakr did not accept to their demands, they rather decided to launch an attack on Medina Tayyibah when the main Muslim army was away for expedition in Syria. One night in 632 AD, as the tribal force advanced to attack Muslim, the army led by Hazrat Abu Bakr took them surprise. Many tribesmen died, the rest fled in confusion, and the victory was significant. And this was the first major event or first major significant event in the Khilafat of Hazrat Abu Bakr. And after that, all the tribes they agreed and they offered allegiance and paid zakat. Then came apostasy movement, or the other name of apostasy movement is Rida Wars. After Prophet's death, many people rebelled against Islam, so Hazrat Abu Bakr launched a campaign against this movement, and the troops at Medina Tayyibah were divided into 11 groups. You need to remember this detail, and they were given under the command of experienced commanders who were sent to different parts of Arabia to fight against false prophet and tribes that were working against Muslims. So apostasy movement is where the tribes went against Islam, they went against Muslims, and they were planning and plotting against Islam. So Hazrat Abu Bakr divided Muslims in 11 groups, and they were given under an experienced commander. And then those armies went to different parts of Arabia to fight or to launch battle against those who were working against Islam. The commanders were instructed to invite revolting tribes to Islam, and if they failed to comply, they were to be attacked. And within a year, control was regained. So Islam is such a beautiful religion that it does not say, "Okay, okay, go and attack." Rather, first we try to negotiate it. If you are agreeing to accept Islam wholeheartedly, then they'll not fight. But and then if they'll not agree to do so, then a battle will be launched. So this is the beauty of our religion, that we are never the ones to attack. Rather, we give options to avoid bloodshed. But then, if not even ours, but if they do not accept Islam, or if they do not accept the administration that was in charge of Medina Tayyib at that time, then for sure the control had to be regained, because they were working against Islam and they were working against Muslims. So within a year, the control of Arabia was regained. Then the most important challenge which Hazrat Abu Bakr had to deal with was false prophet. Four false prophet emerged after the death of Nabi Karim, and some of them emerged during the lifetime of Nabi Karim. So the first one was Aswad Ansi. He rose in Yemen and he was an ugly man, so he used to veil his face, and this is why he is known as veiled prophet. He was the leader of Ansi tribe and revolted openly against Islam. However, he was defeated and killed by Muslims. Then came Tuleha. Tuleha was a wealthy chief, and he was a great warrior from Banu Asad who claimed to be a prophet during the lifetime of Prophet, but Prophet passed away before he could take any action. Khalid bin Walid was sent to punish him, and the armies met at Buzekha, and his army was defeated. Muslim won a significant victory, and many rebellious tribes surrendered and accepted Islam. Tuleha then took refuge in Syria, and when Syria was captured, he accepted Islam, and then later on he joined Muslim army, and then he also fought in many battles during the caliphate of Hazrat Umar. Then came the third false prophet, Muzailma, who was the most dangerous one. He was from Banu Hanifa, and he enjoyed Prophet's company, but then late claimed to divine mission and founded new creed. He reduced the number of daily prayers and relieved his followers from zakat and fasting. He legalized adultery and drinking and was able to win large number of followers. And he also sent a letter to Prophet asking him to divide Arabia in two halves, one part for Muslims and other for Muslim and his followers. And Prophet, upon hearing the claims of Muzailma, he called him a liar. But with the death of Prophet, he gained more followers. Muzailma challenged the caliphate of Abu Bakr, and Abu Bakr sent two forces against him, one under the command of Ikrama and one under the command of Shurabel. So these were Muslim commanders. And Hazrat Abu Bakr gave them instructions to join their forces before launching an attack on Muzailma, who had a force of 40,000 people. But Ikrama reached the Yamama Valley first, and he ignored the orders of Caliph and launched an attack without waiting for Shurabel's army. And then he was beaten back. On reaching Yamama, Shurabel attacked Muzailma on his own and was also beaten back. Muzailma was emboldened by his victory, and then Abu Bakr sent Khalid bin Walid to lead attack against Muzailma, and then Khalid marched with a force of 13,000 and met Muzailma on the plain of Akraba. So this is also known as Battle of Yamama, which we studied during the caliphate of Hazrat Abu Bakr. Many who passed away, and this is exactly the same battle in which those who passed away, which led to the concern that if all the Hufas will pass away, either due to martyrdom or either due to their natural death, then Quran would be lost forever. And then after a fierce fight, Muslims had to retreat. Khalid regrouped the army under tribal commanders and created a reserve force of 1,000 cavalry under his command. The next day, the two armies met, and as the front ranks grappled with each other in single combat, Khalid led the reserves to the mount where Muzailma camped. Muzailma's bodyguard were taken by surprise and could not hold Khalid off. They withdrew with Muzailma into a fortified garden. Muzailma's army lost their nerve at this turn of events and escaped to the garden, where they were defeated by Muslims. Wahshi al-Harb killed Musalma, and the Banu Hanifa accepted peace terms. This is known as Battle of Yamama. Then false prophet Saja was the last and she was the fourth prophet to come up, and she was the first female to claim herself as the false prophet. She was a Christian woman and belonged to Banu Tamim, and she was also able to have large army. Muzelma and Saja joined their forces, and they joined their forces due to matrimonial alliance. Saja then returned to Iraq and ended her adventure of prophethood. When Iraq was conquered by Muslims, she accepted Islam. Then came compilation of Quran. During Hazrat Abu Bakr's caliphate, many companions who had memorized the Quran, they died at the Battle of Yamama, which was fought against Muzelma. So then Omar worried that the words of Quran would be lost due to companions dying of their old age in battle, or they would die in battle. He suggested to Abu Bakr that Quran should be compiled into one book. Initially, Hazrat Abu Bakr was not agreeing to this demand, because he said that he could not do something which Prophet peace be upon him had not done. But he eventually agreed, and then he called Zaid bin Sabit to collect all the verses that had been written. Zaid was a Hafiz himself, yet he only included a verse into the master copy once he verified its authenticity. Umar was a part of process of collecting parts of Mus'haf from companions, and the verses were written in the order that Prophet peace be upon him had given. But the surahs were written on separate sheets. This copy was verified by the committee and was kept with Abu Bakr during his lifetime. Then campaigns in Bahrain, Holy Prophet sent a mission to Bahrain and invited its ruler to Islam. He responded and accepted Islam. Because of him, many people of Bahrain accepted Islam. The ruler of Bahrain died soon after Prophet, so most of the people of Bahrain also apostatized. But during a battle, Muslims won, and rebellion in Bahrain was also crushed. Then campaign in Oman, Mehraq, and Yemen. As we all know, that Prophet peace be upon him was sending invitations in the seventh year of Hijrat, so that the leaders could accept Islam. So he also sent letter to the ruler of Oman, and he was inclined to accept Islam, but said that his people were less likely to agree to the payment of zakat to Medina. To which Prophet assured that if him and his people would accept Islam, the amount collected from zakat would be distributed among the poor and needy of Oman. So the ruler of Oman then accepted Islam, and his people also accepted Islam. But again, like after the death of Prophet, most of the people again apostatized from Islam, even in Oman. And Hazrat Abu Bakr then sent Muslim forces, which were successful. People of Mahra also apostatized, so Ikrama was sent to fight them. And after the tough fight, the defeated people, they also embraced Islam. Muslims also sent a letter to Yemen, where Khusro Parvez tore the letter of Prophet. Prophet then said that his kingdom would be broken soon. And this is exactly what happened, because Khusro Parvez was murdered by his own son, and then he became king. However, governors and Muslims of Yemen accepted Islam, but when Aswad Ansi rose, he gained more followers. And when Hazrat Abu Bakr ordered an army to proceed to Yemen, the enemy was completely destroyed. Then Hazrat Abu Bakr passed away due to natural death at the age of 63, and his Khilafat lasted for 2 years and 4 months. He had himself nominated Hazrat Umar to be his successor to Khilafat, and his appointment was accepted by all, because all other three caliphs that we'll study, Hazrat Umar, Hazrat Usman, and Hazrat Ali, they were murdered. While Hazrat Abu Bakr, the first caliph, is the only caliph to pass away due to natural death. So now we have covered our first caliph, Hazrat Abu Bakr. Inshallah, next class we'll study Hazrat Umar. So Jazakallah khair and take care.